All right, it says live.
Yeah, lies.
Well, it changed colors, so that's a
Okay.
plus.
Oh,
Okay, so King Har's Coffees. Rita walked in today to ask what the smell was. I've been brewing coffee. So if you need coffee, call these guys. Let them know you heard about it here. So send us more. I need squirrel food.
Yeah.
it did smell wonderful.
As always, please donate to keep the heat on.
That's Ko-Fi.com, not LOM.
Well, my brain. I should have been a doctor.
And we do have chocolate, fudge.
Yeah, but somebody jacked it before it got here.
And she immediately went, mine.
Yeah, apparently Jonna ain't turned loose of it.
Yeah.
She ain't turned loose of it yet. He did rewrite the card. It looks like this.
Okay, obviously I need to print something out here.
That would help, yes.
Well, I mean,
Oh, so anyway, welcome all. And yeah, y'all can go ahead and drink. We, however, we'll stick to non-alcoholic beverages.
you figure yourself.
All right, you got alcoholic fudge. Enjoy.
Oh, Kelly, you had to say that.
What?
He's drinking Atomic Nerd chocolate laced with Fireball.
Oh, that sounds yummy.
Oh, God. And the nerds make the best hot chocolate.
Yeah.
So Sanford sent me with something to give to you.
The hell?
Oh,
Tinker
God.
Toys.
The little package of Tinker
It's
Toys.
the world's smallest Tinker Toys.
Oh,
Oh,
You're gonna
goodness.
lose some of those. Some of those are tiny.
And
That's
the way
right.
he goes,
not that small.
we'll see what gets built in the next hour.
That was my fault because a few weeks back we had Saturday dinner at my house and we had teacup humans.
Yeah.
And I realized I didn't have any appropriate toys for teacup humans. So Sanford and I were reminiscing about toys that we enjoyed when we were small, and Tinker Toys came up.
Yeah.
As well as Lincoln Logs. We now own a big set of Lincoln Logs at my house.
Oh, wow. I remember those.
They're fun.
Oh, Mikado is in remission.
Oh,
Go.
excellent.
Yes,
That is
outstanding.
great news.
Outstanding.
Yeah, I
Yes.
hadn't heard when we were there visiting on Monday.
Yeah.
He was waiting, but he looked good, clear and moving around and supervising while we were loading the stove in my truck.
Good. Apparently, Peter is being chopped on today.
Oh,
Which
does
Peter?
that happen? Peter
Which
Grant?
Grant?
Yeah.
Chopped
for
on
his-
for what?
for the abscess in his thigh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he had one.
Yep.
It was on his blog.
And right over his femoral artery. Oh,
Oh,
joy,
Oh
oh,
my
joy.
gosh, that's
Oh.
not fun.
Ho, ho, ho.
Good job, Peter.
Ooh,
Huh?
I said, good job, Peter.
that
Yeah.
was a painful spot.
And it popped up in less than a week.
Yeah, that's not good.
Way to overachieve there, Scooter.
Again.
In other news, I just coughed up $1,500, almost $1,500 for a court transcript.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to talk folks around here into doing a dramatic reenactment as we read. Booze may be required.
Booze is
We'll-
definitely required.
We'll talk about it.
It
Oh,
depends
man.
on which character you would assign me to, because I'm not doing what's his face.
Yeah.
Please let me be the TA.
Oh,
Oh,
dramatic
God.
readings will, and they're actually they're playing silly buggers with me,
More on that later.
but we're not sure yet. So that we may have more information later.
Further rants incoming.
Yeah. Speaking of rants,
Oh, good. Jim's got
I got a couple.
one. Good. Go for it.
Fire in the hole.
Am I supposed
Yeah.
to come to these things with rants?
Oh no, I think we provide those
Oh, good.
gratis.
This, as a sailor, really pisses me off, and that is the illegal salvage of warships and
Oh.
submarines.
Oh, Something the Chinese are really
Yes, they are doing a shit ton of it. Those are actually graves. They are war graves.
under international law. They're war graves.
Yes.
Yes.
However,
What? They're actually like going for ones that are out in the ocean?
yes.
Ooh.
HMS Exeter, HMS Encounter, HMS Electra
Oh.
have all been stripped.
Mm.
In 2014, HMS Repulse and HMS Prince of Wales, the graves of more than 800 Royal Navy, were also stripped.
That is not okay.
No, it's not.
Oh, Her Majesty's Australian ship Perth has been apparently completely ripped up.
Yes. Perth is a Australian ship where 350 Australians lost their lives.
So I'm guessing that these aren't like sneaky piratey type salvagers.
Oh, very definitely sneaky party type, but
Yeah.
with the Chinese blessing.
Ah,
Chinese are taking these ships, going over the top of them with large ships, larger cruiser ships, basically salvaging through the use of explosives to blow the ship apart, or with claws,
yeah.
picking up the pieces. And the reason they want it is this metal is the only steel left in the world that has no radiation in it.
Okay, I see where that comes from, right? Because of the testing. There's
Right.
there's the spikes in radiation after the
Right.
testing.
And among others, USS Pope, quite a few U.S. boats, Houston, HNMS De Ruyter, HNMS Java, which are Dutch.
Mm-hmm.
They've also been hit. So this is the kind of bullshit that the Chinese are doing. And
I thought we can shame the Chinese into stopping.
They don't.
Because they don't care.
They don't care. They just don't care. We are not the right people as far as they're concerned, and they own the world as far as they.
yeah, Jerry, one man's sea raider is another man's anthropologist, except in this case.
Yeah. No.
And those fuckers are going out after the metal. They don't care about saving anything. They don't care that these are war graves.
War graves.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, what they should do is sink the motherfuckers on the spot when they're caught. No ifs, no ands, no buts. Sink the motherfuckers.
And there's a difference between an anthropologist and an archaeologist investigating a site. And
It
quite
depends on
frequent-
how old the grave is.
Well, it's not even how old the grave is, but it's documentation, it's preservation, and they're careful and they're respectful of it. This is not that.
No, it is not.
And grave robbers is the closest to this.
Yeah.
Grave robbing.
Yeah, this is grave robbing.
I
which
wonder how they'd
destroys.
feel if we just went over and salvaged the Imperial City.
Yeah. Sounds like a winner to me.
Yeah, I think we should just go get all those terracotta statues and just
Mm.
turn them into dust.
Yeah.
Mm.
So.
Yeah. Should have kept rolling east in 45 and north in 50.
You're not kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, Carlton, we need to salvage the emperor's graves. Yeah.
Works for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Dan Buckster strike against Three Rivers. B-21's first mission.
Yeah, but the peasants don't deserve that, is the thing.
I'm not sure Three Rivers needs much help right now.
No.
That's not looking pretty. It may just do it all on its own.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Well, the Taiwanese have been flying penetration missions into China for well over 30 years.
Well,
That should be making the Chinese nervous. It would make me nervous.
Yeah.
they're doing some stuff, the fleet in the South China Sea. There's also some question of whether or not they're going to blockade Taiwan coming up here soon.
Well,
They'll
they've
try.
unofficially already blockaded it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are
While Nero fiddles in the
Yeah.
St. Croix, all this other shit's going on.
Yeah, one of the folks that was at one of our reunions was telling a story about he got sent on a special mission, quote unquote, after his squadron tour. He was an instructor pilot and got interviewed to go somewhere else for 2 years.
Somewhere
So,
else. Quote, unquote.
yeah. So he went to an interview in DC in civilian clothes, and they said, we would like you to go take this 2-year tour. You'll be out of the United States. And
Goodness.
yeah.
No.
So he said, well, can I take my wife? And they said, let us check. So he was allowed to take his wife. Strangely enough. Yes.
Wow.
And
Good cover, but damn.
yeah. His non-flying orders were to Taiwan, where he promptly started flying P-2s again with Chinese co-pilots at night into China,
Oh boy.
and did that for over 2 years. Over 2,000 hours of flight time at night at low altitude.
Yikes.
And was lucky his crew survived.
That's a guy that clanks when he walks.
Huh?
That's a guy that clanks when he
Clank,
walks.
clank
Yeah.
on a tank.
But the rest of the story is even funnier. Was he got back and he was up for department head. So they sent him back to a P-2 squadron. Since he had been in a non-flying billet for 2 years, he had to go back and requalify.
Oh dear.
The most qualified had to requalify.
Yeah. Well, and he couldn't say anything about where he had been and what he was doing.
Oh my god,
So he
that's hilarious.
they're at that time we're flying out of Alameda. So he goes through the retraining program and gets ready to fly a check ride. And the first airplane broke. And the second airplane broke. And the third airplane broke. They went back to the first airplane. This is not unusual in our community.
I was
Not sure I'd like to want to fly with that guy.
Yeah. So the instructor pilot says, well, it's dark, but we can knock this out and just get it done.
Flying after dark.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Fine. Well, apparently he was not thinking. So he took off out of Alameda and it was dark. And he did what he'd been doing the last 2 years.
Like you do.
Take off and go down and out under the Golden Gate Bridge. And he said he looked over and the instructor pilot's just going,
Did you do that on?
I
Did you
think
do that
this
on
check
purpose?
ride is over.
Oh, Scooter, you have no idea.
So he said he had to climb and get up high enough to get into ATC to come back to Alameda to land.
The waves weren't slapping the bottom of the bird.
Yeah, apparently they were pretty close. So he said, he got back to the squadron, did his thing. So a couple of years later, they come around asking for people for another specialized operation. So he goes, yeah, what the hell?
What the hell? That's the way the story always starts. What
Yeah.
the hell?
So he goes back to DC, goes again in civilian clothes, goes into this meeting, and the same two guys are there and look at him and go, oh, no, you can't go.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no.
And that turned out to be VO-67. So he had some rather interesting other stories, most of which are not repeatable in polite company.
We have no idea what
Who
that's
are you
like.
talking about?
But he said the funny part was his wife ended up being an excellent Chinese cook after the 2 years. And,
like happens.
and had all kinds of nicky neat furniture. That as he said, I'm still hauling around 40 years later.
I have no idea what that's like.
She's got to do something when he's on missions.
Yeah.
So we got enough folks here. Apparently, we're developing something of a being known for anthologies.
Imagine the three of you sitting at the table.
I
So
haven't done that many.
I think he's on here.
Yeah.
Who are you heeing about?
Doug Irving.
Yes,
Irving.
Doug is on here.
Would like to do Doug. This is all Doug. All on Doug. Doug. Talk to Doug. Wants to do an anthology on tarnished armor. Men and women of honor, somewhat cynical and jaded from life's injustices. Contact Doug. He'll do the anthology and he'll do all the work. All I'm going to do is press publish. So Raconteur and we'll provide the cover art.
Yes,
Cedar.
I will be doing the cover
Yeah.
for this one.
So we contact Doug, and I actually have his email, but he's on here somewhere. So ask him for his
Yeah.
email address.
Um,
And there'll be a
he needs to
email
post
and
it in our Texas
Tracy
Homemakers.
in the Texas Troublemakers group.
Yeah. So
Um,
tarnished armor. Raconteur Press will be publishing it. He'll do all the hard work.
Yes, Richard.
I'm good with
Any career, military of any age.
Anything.
Yeah.
Just men
Yeah.
and women of honor, slightly jaded by life's injustices.
Yeah.
We have no idea about that going on or anything.
No, not a
So-
bit. Not a bit.
So
And there goes Kelly. Some dude.
no military connection. Just it's men and women of honor. So yeah, military, law enforcement, men and women of honor, paramedics, men and women of honor.
I think the idea is to kind of contrast against the concept of a knight in shining armor
Yeah.
without necessarily being a knight. I know I've had a long running joke sort of with my husband where I refer to him as my knight in rusty armor.
Yeah.
And when Doug was talking to me about this, that's kind of the feeling I got about it, was that it's someone that isn't necessarily feels like they're heroic, but nonetheless they do the right thing.
Yeah.
Sort of a noir detective feel there.
That's it would be a dead on fit for noir.
Yeah.
That's basically noir is about the
Right,
knight
but-
in tarnished armor.
Yeah.
Hey, I could just see a knight going out for the third time and a dragon going, really again?
You again?
Yeah.
Not here for hunting, are you?
Could have some fun with that one.
Oh yes.
Rumpled Angels of Mercy. Yep.
Make it happen.
Make it happen, Kelly. Yes, RK, I've ordered. You fucked it up.
Damn it.
I have ordered Hydrox. They have not come in yet. Damn it.
Oreos. It's an Oreo.
It's not.
Pinky, man. Oreos. Oreos, Pinky.
Waffle House, when you might qualify for tarnished armor. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes. Oh yeah. Any kind of Waffle House waitress would definitely be tarnished,
Yeah.
shall we say.
Dragon. I'm here for the virgins, and you sure as hell ain't one.
Ouch.
Ooh. That's the unicorn that's there for the virgins. Dragons, I'm not sure dragons care that much.
Yeah.
They don't get stuck in the teeth quite. Oh, what?
Little
Oreos
less
are Hydrox
tender,
copies.
you
Oop,
say?
okay.
Yeah. Yes, Oreos are Hydrox copies.
Okay.
Sorry, Winkle Red.
Dented Hydrox. No. Falcons and Malta is going to be the last one, guys. And I realize I've said that before, but we need to move on.
There are
Oh.
other things in life,
There are other things that need to be done.
like 12 other things now.
No kidding. No kidding. So if you're interested, Doug's on here somewhere.
Yep.
Contact Doug. And we'll put a link to all the good stuff on various places on Facebook.
On Facebook, and I can put it in my Discord channel as well for the people that don't do Facebook and do
There's one right
Discord.
there.
Oh, there's one. A subscription service, no kidding.
I'm gonna have to get a toy box.
We've got a toy basket.
Well, I mean, in theory, we could run a subscription service
No.
through Ko-Fi.
No, no.
The dragons and unicorns in a dank bar commiserating about the lack of virgins. The other
Right.
end of the bar is the tarnished knights going, how many more times we got to do this shit?
I'm old. I hurt. I'm tired of doing this.
Ian, actually, you know how it would work? Like Bane does with the e-arcs.
Oh, Jesus.
She's
No.
got it. There's a female in here with a good idea. I'm starting to
So-
get worried.
So here's what happens with that. First of all, people pay more for the privilege of helping with frontline editing.
You are
Get
not.
paid twice.
You are not helping.
I always thought that was a brilliant move on Bane's part. Brilliant.
What is that?
I don't know.
Jim is throwing stuff. Time for me to be quiet. I mean, if you think about how Jim Bain did his marketing and built his business, it is a doggone good model
Oh yeah,
to look at.
Jim Bain was a smart guy.
Oh, absolutely
He was
brilliant.
brilliant.
I really regret never having gotten to meet
Oh.
him in person.
I got
For
to-
cleaning glasses.
I actually was at several parties with Jim Bain, and he's just a truly wonderful man.
And I'm really happy to hear that he was just as delightful in person as he was online.
He was so brilliant and so sharp and warm and welcoming and just the nicest human being you meet. Total spine of steel. When he was working with Tom Doherty,
Yeah.
the two of them took toward a new heights. And then when Bain spun off with Tom's blessing, it was glorious. So
Well, apparently the package got here. Yeah, the cookies that David sent.
We'll have to
Oh.
look around.
Doug, we are going to do the publishing. I'll tell you that we are going to do the publishing. Get her done, send us a file, we'll publish it.
Yep.
And we'll in the next probably after MarsCon, we'll have a talk about contracts and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's high noon. Yeah.
What?
Disillusioned old lawyer gunfighter saddling up one last showdown. Yeah, that's called high noon. Yeah. A truly chaste knight. Yeah.
Having studied extensively the backstories of the Knights of Malta, not truly chaste.
No.
Holy gods, no.
Hey, Cindy. Yes. We eat all kinds of cakes. We also eat pies.
Why? Why?
Cindy's a good friend of mine from down in Georgia. She's a nurse full time. She also, as a side gig, does cakes and pies.
Ah,
I'm going to weigh 300 pounds by the time this is all over.
kind of like Jamie Denote does.
Huh?
Jamie Denote has been doing cakes on the side. Doing some lovely stuff.
Yeah. Oh, Cindy's are absolutely stunning. They look like something out of Mid Journey.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Do we eat cake? So that's the
Often chased and frequently caught.
Yeah, no
Mhm.
kidding.
Yeah.
no kidding. I had somebody send me an outraged email regarding my characterization of Jean de Valette as Grunt Paw.
What?
Yeah, you don't know what he was like. Oh, I know exactly what he was like.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know exactly what Jean de Valette was like. He was a bastard.
Yeah.
Had multiple illegitimate children.
Yeah.
Even though he was supposed to be a perfect, chaste, and perfect gentle knight, he had Woods cults on the ground for ages, and I think one or two of them actually got legitimized after he died.
Yeah.
He was a brawler. When I say he punched out a moron, I'm not kidding. He punched out a moron. and wound up in jail. The Knight's version of jail. He wound up in a well, stuck in a well for X number of days as penance for it was dry well, as penance for punching out a moron. So yeah, I know exactly what Jean de Valette was like. He was exactly what the Knights of Malta needed when the Ottomans were on the way. He was pretty much Chesty Puller's version of a Marine. Take me to the brig, show me the real Marines.
Yeah.
Jean de Valette would have been right there with him, probably pounding down booze and yelling about strippers
Yeah.
and crayons.
It's funny when you look at history stories, how many of the really great military men were like that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. They were not.
They were not good people.
No, they were not
knights in
honorable
shining armor.
people, as you would say.
They were honorable in their own way. They were
Yeah.
very, very good at what they did.
I think our nearest representation of people like that is probably Peter O'Toole and Richard Burton and that drinking gang. You know,
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
God. Oh,
and
Richard Harris.
the four men. I mean, they were probably the best representation modernly of what the knights of that era were like. So.
Yeah, John makes a good point. You don't win battles and wars by being perfectly mannered and polite.
Yep.
Yes.
And you don't win the siege of Malta against overwhelming, and when I say overwhelming odds by being a perfect gentle knight. You
Yes.
win it by being an absolute bastard.
Yes, Don, you can be a good person and also be a killing machine. That's
Something hard that's hard to get across to people these days.
Yeah.
By the way.
yeah. Yeah, scratch a hero and you find a bum.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know about a bum.
They're
connotations there.
Oh,
I'm not talking about the whole knight in shining armor thing, but
Yeah.
I'm saying that I don't know about a bum either, because there definitely was still. They did have that sense of honor.
well, I talked to Bull Williams, who was a Navy guy that won the Medal of Honor in Vietnam, and he was the chief for Marshal Service in South Carolina a number of years ago. And I met him at a function. We were talking, and I asked him, I said, why did you go back? I said, you had 19 plus years in. You were an E6, you didn't have to go to Vietnam. And he looked at me and he kind of grinned. He said, well, somebody had to go teach the little fuckers how to drive boats. That was his exact words.
That's true.
And there's definitely something that I have seen in studying people is that there's people that are much more comfortable
Yeah.
in the military, in combat, and then when they come home,
Something that's hard to explain
Well, they know themselves. So
is combat is a very, very, very
potent drug.
well, it's not just that. It's simple.
Yes,
teach you who you are.
very much so.
It's very simple. It's those are the good guys. Here are the good guys, so the bad guys do unto them.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a very, very
Shoot
simple
them before they shoot you.
Mhm.
combat has a very, very simple
Yep.
and
And it's very,
reassuring simplicity.
Mhm.
The world is very black and white.
It's very black and white. Thank you.
Mhm.
It's a very
Yeah.
black and white.
Yeah.
For the most part, what is expected. You know where you are. You know what is expected. Go forth and
do what you need to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. As Rick says, rule number 1, survive. There is no rule 2. Yeah. Make sure it's never a fair fight. That's also true.
you find yourself in a fair fight. Your tactics suck. I forget who
Yeah.
said that, but they didn't lie.
Yeah.
And
And the refs always screw it up. Yes, that's true too.
that's what they're there for. And quite honestly, combat is addictive.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, it's the ultimate win-loss.
Well, beta endorphins. The word endorphin is a portmanteau, a combination of 2 words. Endogenic morphine.
Yeah.
Endorphin. Endogenic morphine. Endorphin.
Well, it's also one of the few places we have left where people men in particular can truly test themselves and know who they really are and find out their
In
mettle.
combat, there's never any doubt whether you beat the other guy,
Yeah.
which is something men.
If you walk away, you won.
Pretty much.
But beta endorphins in particular are, if I remember correctly from my lecture, are 40 times more powerful than actual morphine. And this is morphine your body produces.
Mm-hmm.
And just like regular morphine, beta endorphin is addictive. Even though your body makes it is addictive. And nowhere does beta endorphin jump out more often than in combat.
Mhm.
So yes, you can get addicted to it.
Yeah.
On to more cheerful.
Most fun you can have is cause red on red effects. Yeah.
On to more cheerful stuff,
Yeah.
because getting a little off in the weeds.
And this is
missing a
unusual,
part.
Al.
I'm missing a part.
You've been missing a part for a long time.
There's a little bitty thing over there. I don't know what you're looking for. And there's one right here.
That's what I'm missing. No, wait, I'm still missing a part. Damn it.
He's lost his marbles, or well,
I lost my marbles a long time ago.
It's probably on the floor somewhere.
Possibly. I'm not seeing it. Oh,
No, that ain't it. Oh, well, so much for that project. Moving on. I actually lost my Tinker Toys. Gotta be rough like fentanyl. Yeah, but you can't make fentanyl angels in beta endorphins, Kelly. For those of you who don't get that joke, Kelly Grayson has been fighting a one-man war against misinformation in the fentanyl age. And he will, especially if you get a couple of bourbons into him, Kelly will wax poetic about fentanyl and the public's, well, peace officers' overreaction to fentanyl. And one of the funnier things you can see is a slightly intoxicated Kelly pantomiming fentanyl angels, because he states quite regularly that you could lay in a pile of fentanyl dust, make fentanyl angels, and you're going to be fine.
But you also have on the other side of that coin the psychosomatic effects.
Psychosomatic is a thing.
Yeah.
These officers that touch fentanyl and then have to receive a Narcan injection are wasting Narcan. They have been convinced, and I guarantee you that Kelly is winding up for a rant right now. But skin is a very effective barrier to fentanyl, and you get these officers that touched fentanyl and go into heart palpitations and get Narcan. It's like, seriously.
skin is a very effective barrier
Yeah.
to a lot of things.
Amazingly enough.
Yeah.
Ran inbound.
Yeah, it's one of the things that annoys me. The non-PC term is hissy fit.
Yeah.
Yes.
The PC term would be panic attack. They have a panic attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. They
You
get
need to hand them a paper bag and let them breathe.
what they should do is hand them a paper bag, tell them to sit in a bumper and collect themselves.
Yeah.
But no, they get Narcan, and you just wasted a tube of Narcan.
Yeah.
I swear to God, the agency I used to work at actually got the white Tyvek suits for if there's, and it started out, if there's any chance of fentanyl, put on the white Tyvek suit. I'm going, seriously?
Yeah.
That's Sparkle's idea.
No, that was somebody else's idea. So Kelly, although I'm not nearly as
Hello there.
as I've lost the word, eloquent. No,
Yeah.
wrong word, but close. Eloquent as Kelly is about a subject of panic-induced hissy fits regarding fentanyl and peace officers. He and I are on the same. He and I are on the same sheet of music. It's like, please do grow up.
Yeah, Evan, there actually were officers that died back in the 70s.
Superficially keratinized infection negator, aka skin. And if you're dissatisfied, we'll send you an entirely new set in 23 days.
Yeah. That's true.
We love Kelly.
Anyway, there were officers back in the 70s and 80s that was shot in the arm or the leg and died. And
Talked themselves into dying.
they talked themselves into it. Yeah. Oh my God, stop it.
I've been shot by a hand cannon. I must die.
Yeah.
I swear to God, there are people. Well, Gunsmith Joe and I have this conversation on a regular basis about the efficacy of the federal 125 grain Jacket Hollow Point 357. In any number of studies, is a very, very effective manstopper. You get anywhere from high 80s to high 90% stops. And he and I are firmly of the belief that the fact that it produces a basketball-sized flame and report they'll shout and they'll rattle your teeth at 25 yards has a great deal to do with the stop.
Yeah.
Because when it goes off, you know somebody's shooting at you.
Unless it's Ranger ammo, which will not penetrate.
Well,
And
again,
jean jacket.
it's a case of when your eyebrows are on fire and your ears are ringing, you know you've been shot at, and then you die or stop what you're doing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And we have this conversation. It's more of a psychological stop.
Okay, so that reminded me, I was at a black powder event with Tim, and this guy had really large, bushy eyebrows, and kept, he actually set his eyebrows on fire.
Oh yeah.
With his flintlock.
Yeah.
And it was quite amusing because he didn't realize it because the flames was out a little further. So
Takes a minute.
Yeah.
But I'm really interested in the 30 Super Carry. Not for the extra rounds, although that's a plus, but for the simple fact that it produces a basketball-sized muzzle flash and enough and around your teeth at 20 yards. Because I'm
If you want to do that, Jay Grazio's 357 Snubby.
yeah, but with a 30 Super Carry, it doesn't beat me to death. I want the other guy to drop. I don't want me to drop.
Yeah.
It's a psychological thing. If you don't know you've been shot at, and having interviewed a lot of people that survivors, the most one of the things I heard from people that got shot or stabbed and kept going was they didn't realize it happened. And my Ouija board is effective, so I can't talk to the ones that dropped.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to bet that you know that you've been shot at. You have been shot at, therefore you must fall. Hollywood says so.
Yeah. Evan, really? You set your range on fire. Good. Shooting tannerite disc. Oh, there's always one.
Kelly, you shot the W from hell?
Yeah.
And how long for your wrist to get back to
Well, Jay, and it was his gun.
Yeah.
Could barely hit men at a berm with.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
It was
It's called flinching.
well, it's not just okay. He had one of these scandium or titanium frame snubbies.
It was scandium.
Yeah, the super lightweight snubby in 357.
Yes.
Okay. And he'd stuff full house 357s in there in a super light gun. So when it went off, it beat you to death, much less the guy downrange.
The guy down range is sitting there going, well, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
Because there's a huge fireball, but you had no idea where the round went.
No, because you had a flinch.
Yeah. Like being whacked in the hand with a baseball bat. Yes.
Yeah.
it was a test of personhood.
A test of personhood.
And I was smart enough not to participate in that one.
I have an early model all steel Ruger SP-101. I don't like full house 357s in that thing, and it's steel. It's not scandium.
Evan says, yep, shot a plastic bottle, caught it on fire, we stomped it out. In my defense, my son was the one who shot it. Mm. Okay.
Wow. Wow.
Need how rain shows up.
Yeah.
Oh, right in the middle of the gun discussion, Bill shows up. Excuse like the Mead Hall, the bat signal.
Yeah.
I had a lovely moment. So coming home from my trip down to see my daughters, I stopped twice
Okay.
on Monday. And the first one was see RK and Mikado and pick up a stove from them. But I turn around as we're getting the stove ready to pull it out of the garage, and I look at the shelf, and on one shelf there's canning jars, and on the next shelf down there's a box, and on the end of the box is written Tannerite.
Why am I not surprised with that couple?
And the second one was getting to visit the Wakal Longhorn Spawn Petting Zoo.
Oh, you've been?
I've been. The
Oh,
cows are lovely. I
Oh.
get to scratch Lafayette's neck, and Lafayette is taller than I am. I mean,
He's a
now,
longhorn.
granted that I'm not tall, but
Yes.
still, it was
But
a
he's a
kind of.
longhorn.
I mean, it's like this awesome power, and he's letting you scratch his neck.
Apparently,
firmly
from what I
because
hear-
he's got thick hide.
from what I hear, he demands that you scratch his back.
I got to feed them, but then we went inside briefly, and the walls in that house are an education in themselves. We stopped for 10 minutes about a single display of kukris hanging on the wall.
No, Bill.
I love my friends.
Bill, we were not talking about trying to get a small lady to shoot an airweight snubby. These were guys
Yeah,
trying to shoot a very lightweight 357 snubby.
because the ladies, as usual, were smarter than the guys.
Yeah.
But I was just doing my opine that the reason the 125 grain federal 357 load is such a great stopper was because when somebody's got their eyebrows on fire and their ears are ringing from the shot, they know they've been shot at, so therefore they must fall over.
Yeah.
Anyway, on to other stuff. The Wackles of Wackle Longhorn Spa and Petting Zoo are also Dreadnought Industries. We know some interesting people.
Yes, he builds some very good guns.
Mm.
And he actually built Abomination for Larry,
Yeah, he did.
a real one.
And handed it to him. You should have seen the expression on that man's face.
I think I have that picture.
So here's Alex, who's very, very reserved, not shy. He's reserved, and he did. We know way too many spooks. You know that.
Yeah.
So he asked Larry to come out and hands him Abomination, and Larry's like,
That is the real deal. And that was done outside the hotel for obvious reasons.
Evan, the Wackles, Wakal. Usually they're on. Well, at least one of them's on here.
Yeah. And no, they did not. As far as I know, they still haven't got the bayonet to work right.
Yeah, that
They were
Alex was cussing about that.
yeah, they were going somewhere. So I think they might not be close to the computer.
Yeah. Kukris are nice. I've got,
Kukris are decent.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of them. I need to have one at the house just because. Kukris are great, but just not for me.
Yeah, I've got one from my consultant that verifies my various and
Very
sundry
good.
attempts at writing in science fiction.
Yes. Did I send you the link to the photography contest for the Gurkha regiment?
No,
I will find that and send that to
Okay.
you again because that was really cool.
but he's a retired Gurkha warrant officer. And I had mentioned being interested in kukri, and had also mentioned it to Larry Lambert. And one showed up on the doorstep. And it's official British government model kukri. So it am the real deal.
Now, Kelly's not the big guy with a little knife and a scowl, no problem. It's the little guys with the big knives and the grins that just really
Or
ain't
the
right.
smile, the
Yeah.
outright smile.
Ooh,
Yeah,
this is gonna be bad. Oh, this is gonna suck.
yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Cedar does more than sit here and talk while we're on.
I keep my squirrels occupied with doing my lost my glow stick. I keep my squirrels occupied with my hands. She draws. That's how she keeps her.
I'm still occupying myself with my hands, but a little more fluidly. we're down to the last couple of illustrations before I start assembling Squeak's Saga. So Squeaks should be out sometime in late January.
Late January, guys.
Yeah, Rex Applegate. Apparently, and that's one gentleman I would have loved to have met.
He was
Sadly,
nuts.
never got a chance to.
NVTS nuts.
Yeah. The Filipinos, especially the tribesmen,
And their bolos.
yeah, they are some interesting people. Another interesting group are the Hmong, because their knives are big and they have a two-hand grip. They are more a sword than they are a knife. And they know how to use them.
6 and 1, half dozen the other.
Yeah.
Until you gave that one context, I misheard that as mom, as in MOM.
Mom.
Hmong.
And I was like, what were the moms doing? Chef knives, I can see that, but
Note self, get it. Yeah. We'd have to get it 550 cord and double it.
I've got a roll of 550 cord somewhere.
Yeah.
Why I have a roll of 550 cord, I don't know, but I have one somewhere.
I don't have a roll.
You
I've
should
got
always
a
have
hank.
550 cord handy.
Yeah, but not a roll of it.
I've got a hank of it that was in the camping box. Now it's in my
Let's see if
office.
A whole
Ah, that explains it, Evan.
But-
He had to have been a fantastic person to talk to, though.
Oh, yeah.
Lorenzo's Filipino Girl in the Dead Six books. Yeah. People get stabbed. You have never seen anybody faster with a knife than a pissed off Filipino girl or woman.
I believe the term is singer sewing machine.
They use a balisong, and they can get that thing out, flipped, open, cut you, put it back in their pocket, and you're still standing there going,
It's like a waitress at Chewy's with a switchblade.
yeah.
or a Waffle House.
Oh, apparently a Waffle House, except their weapon of choice appears to be a small skillet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That girl.
yeah, they did interview her on Fox,
Yep, they did.
and apparently she got fired because of it.
They fired her, but she's got a GoFundMe going. So
Yeah.
That, just because, damn.
You know, 4 ways: bad, long, deep, wide, and often. Yeah.
High, wide, and handsome.
Yeah, or as Cajuns would say, high, wide, and deep. Yeah.
A Chewy's waitress of Philippines. They will gang up on somebody who needs ganging up on.
Chewy's
throw that
waitress
out
and a Filipino lady.
They'll just
I'll
gang
call
up on
that a
somebody.
tie.
They'll just gang up on somebody.
And they will take care of a baby. Both sides will
Oh,
take care
no
of a
kidding.
baby in a heartbeat.
You know,
I have 4 children, right? No, my first 2 were babies still because they're only about 18 months apart. And my ex was working in a little strip mall, and next door to his shop where he was working was a Chinese buffet. And we would go there for lunch because it was relatively inexpensive. And the waitresses, when my daughters came through the door, and now granted, my daughters are these little blonde dumpling babies.
Yeah.
And they just doted on those children. It was
Oh, yeah.
none of those waitresses could speak a word of English.
Yep.
And they would take care of those babies, and didn't have to do a thing once I went in there with the babies.
well, we took the LaForces there the first time they were through, and they had one of their kids was still
Little,
a baby.
yeah.
Was a baby, and oh my God, that was the safest child in Wichita County.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, they fired her because she fought back, Egg Tiger.
And what was fun is when we took when Tom Rogamy, I think he's on here
Yeah.
somewhere. We took him and his kid. And,
Tom just mentioned that.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Had to tell his son to keep his eyes to himself. Yeah.
they wouldn't have minded.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Tom, there's Tom's son. It's
Yeah.
large, blue-eyed,
Yeah.
Anglo. He could have smiled and he'd have been hip deep in little Latino girls.
Yeah. Get seated at the family table in German restaurants. That's saying something, because that normally does not happen. Found that out up in northern Germany back in years ago. We went in actually fairly early in the evening to eat. And the people we were with were locals. And this is a good sized restaurant, probably as big as this area here. And we go winding through tables to one in the back. It's like, you know, why all these other tables? Oh, those are family tables. Oh. So we get them to talking a little bit. Oh, yeah, they're family tables going back 200 years or more. And occasionally a table will move because somebody got in a fight with somebody at the next table.
And now they're being separated.
Yeah, so now they're being separated. But literally said, yeah, some of these tables have been occupied by the same family for 200 years or more. Damn.
Tom was smart. He and his family got to Chewy's before we did.
Yeah.
And he sat where the kid wasn't near any of us. Because I was going to tell the kid, hey, wink at that one, see what happens.
Yeah. Chewy's is a Mexican restaurant, real Mexican restaurant.
Oh, my God.
Locally here.
Chewy's is over on the north side on the DMZ between the barrio and the ghetto.
Yeah.
And it is neutral zone. And Chewy has big ink tattoos.
Yeah.
He's got sleeves of big ink tattoos.
And Chewy is not a little boy.
And he used to have handkerchief art on the handkerchief. Inmates do a lot of art with handkerchiefs. There is inmate art on the walls. Chewy's obviously been an inmate.
Yeah.
He also calls me and Jim boss.
Yeah.
Which is a clue. But he's got a pool cue behind the register and his grandmother in the kitchen. And oh my God.
Tortillas that are literally that big.
Yeah, everything's handmade. And
We have not been there in a while.
and we went there one time and Chewy had done something. And he had done pissed off his grandma. And he said something that was obviously smart ass. And his tortilla came flying out of the kitchen and plap. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
The worst things that she could have thrown from that kitchen.
Oh, yeah. She could have thrown a knife. She fast pitched up. And God, their tortillas were that damn big.
Yeah.
And she's been, I mean, there's a lot of substance to these tortillas.
Yeah.
And she fast pitched that and almost knocked him over, hitting the tortilla. But he's got this unique salsa.
Oh, yes.
And what he does is he's got this 33-gallon oil drum out back. It's honest got oil drum he scrubbed out. One of the small ones, not the big 55, but small one. And he stuffs it full of jalapenos and then fills it full of water at the top and starts it boiling. And sometime later, he'll strain the woody bits out and starts adding other stuff.
Yeah.
And oh my God. We
You
learned
never ever want to take a dip of a chip and a bite
before
until you have liquid in your hand.
once as soon the food is, it's the only place. Rita, story time. Rita moved here and my little lady loves chicken mole. Chicken mole is apparently hard to find. So I'm at the office and I get this text from her. Oh my God, I found chicken mole. Oh, good. Well, you want it? Where do you want? So she tells me where it is. And I realize it's kind of iffy, but okay. I go over there and its food's fantastic. Oh my God, the food is fantastic. I get back to the office. I'm telling the chief about this great Mexican place Rita found. And the chief's like, oh yeah, Chewy's. And I hear in the next office, I hear Sheriff spin his chair around and he kicks the wall and Sheriff slides out the conference room. He says, Chewy's, great place. Jock up next time. Goes back into his office. I'm like, what? Chief said, you pulled the crime stats for that area? Like, no. And it's right across the street from a convenience store.
Yeah.
And the convenience store had been robbed, I think, 43 times in the last 30 days.
Yeah. Multiple times a day. Yes.
So I started going there. And this is back when I would be one of the only Anglo faces in there. And Jim arrived. I took Jim to Chewy's. And we walked in there, and I had told Jim all about it. We walked in there, and we got a table, and we're both on one side facing the door, which is something that men don't do in a Mexican restaurant. You don't sit side by side
And
as
we
men.
also both had on Hawaiian shirts.
No, I had my polo on.
No, you didn't.
No, that's right. I didn't. Disregard. We had Hawaiian shirts on. And we're sitting on the same side. There's nobody on the far side of the table. This is not something males do in a Mexican restaurant. Chewy looks. We get our food, eat our food. It's just fantastic. Chewy comes in and said, "Boss, I got you. Here, you're safe." All right, then.
It was that and the two turds over in the corner
Oh, no kidding.
that were frequent flyers.
Oh, God, yes.
They were trying to stare us down.
Yes. Yeah. But no, we were not giving a couple vibe. We were giving off the we're fixing to clear this joint vibes.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things that when you've got somebody that's about to start a fight or about to whack somebody, they'll do that sort of thing. And they thought we were about to clear the joint. It's like, boss, I got you. All right, then.
Considering my right hand was sitting on my thigh the whole time and I was eating one-handed.
Yep.
And drinking one-handed.
Yep. I thought we were seriously going to do something about those two in the corner.
Yeah.
I get called boss lady over the weekend. Which
You
was
did?
the funniest thing. I saw my deal with the kids was I was going to take them out to dinner, so we weren't trying to cook in a 2-bedroom apartment and everything. So I was taking them out to dinner every night that we were down there. And I told them I wanted to take them someplace where they'd never been, that they'd be willing to try it when they were on their own, because they're like, we never experiment with restaurants because we can't. Well, they don't want to go someplace that's bad and pay for food that they don't like when they're on a very limited budget.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, okay, good deal. Let's breakfast people. So we wound up going to a little Middle Eastern place.
Oh, I like this already.
Oh, it was good. One of the
Already.
girls, they had a gyro quesadilla,
Oh,
and one of the girls ordered that, and it was really, really good. But I had shawarma, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
But next
shawarma.
So
need
next
to make
door
shawarma.
to it, in fact, you could walk from the restaurant into it was a grocery. So I dragged the kids into the grocery and we're shopping. So now, mind you, I have at this point in tow 4 nearly adult, because only one of them is technically sub-adult.
Yeah.
He's big enough, he doesn't look it. And they're all excited and slightly chaotic because they're not used to this. And so we're going through the market, and I'm telling them what things are, and we're getting supplies so that I can cook. I made curry the last night that I was there. And at the very end, we're getting ready to check out, and the guy behind the counter was a mini Larry. So like 6 inches shorter than Larry Korea. Looks like Larry, actually sounds like him a little bit, because he was telling an animated story to a friend when we first walked in. But I turn around and I tell the kids what we're going to do next, because they were all arguing about where we're going and what we're doing. And I'm like, you two go load up in that car, head to where you're going, and so on and so forth. I turn back around and I pay the guy, and he goes, boss lady.
Shawarma is the Lebanese version of a gyro.
Yeah.
It's vertically spitted meat. You rotate it. And you slice. It's a gyro, but it's the Lebanese version.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Marvelous.
you could see when you walked up to the counter to order that they had 3 of the tall rotisseries,
Yeah.
which I'm sure have a name, and I don't know what it is.
Depends on what country you're in.
But they had chicken, lamb, and beef going, and we ordered kebabs and gyros, and the gyro quesadilla, which was huge, a lot of food.
Yeah.
And the general consensus. Oh, and my son chooses this yogurt soda, which some of you may have seen a photo of.
That's
on.
not something that
No.
you need to work up to the yogurt sodas.
Okay, first of all, it's not sweet.
Yeah.
You need to work up the yogurt sodas.
Second of all, it's salty.
Now we'll have to tell a quick story about Larry, though, and seating at the table. So we're at LTUE. This was back 2017, 2018. And Peter Nealon, myself, Larry, Bridget. I don't remember who else was with us. We decided to get something to eat there in the hotel. So Peter and I both are going for the side facing the door. And Larry just looks at it, shakes his head, and goes, fuck it, I'm going to sit over here. You guys got it.
It's really amazing.
Because
I will say it's really funny to go out to dinner with all you guys, because us women were like, they're going to be jockeying for position. So we just all sit where we can see the door. We're done with this nonsense. We're sitting down.
Yeah, we've noticed that.
Yeah, I made you sit with your back to the entire restaurant at LTV. That was fun.
That was not nice.
Yeah, that was not nice.
Mine is
I was
always
like,
trying to
"Half the
remember
people
whose
here are
whose
stuck
ear,
up."
whose side of the ears they can hear out of
Yeah.
better, so that I can make sure y'all sit where we can actually hear one another.
Yeah.
That's important.
That one day, the first day I took him to Chewy's, I almost walked across the restaurant and told those guys that they kept eye fucking me so the chocolates were going to be required, and that would have been that. I was feeling my oats that day, and that would have been bad.
Oh, hell, we've wasted an hour of everybody's time again.
Holy crap, we have been a good,
Yeah.
if slightly
Yes,
disjointed,
Nancy,
disjointed conversation.
that was now that wasn't the last LTUE we were at. It was the one before that.
But I fucking in inmate language is totally different than what you think it is.
Yeah.
To I fuck somebody in English in inmate language means that you're
Yeah.
Staring daggers.
staring daggers.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you keep I fucking me, chocolates are gonna be required, which would have started a fight.
Mm.
Yeah. Thai, I like Thai food. Oh boy, do I like Thai
Yeah,
food.
Thai food's
Oh,
good.
I wish I could eat more.
Rita introduced me to Thai food. I'd never had it. Pacific Theater is not one of my. I'm not new. She introduced me to Thai food, and she introduced me to Vietnamese food, for that matter.
Rita's been in education.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rita's been a very, and I didn't know what I'd been missing. Thai food was good, but I have a saying: I walk into a Thai restaurant or a Vietnamese restaurant, white boy medium. That's what you want, boss. White boy medium.
All right, folks, we've wasted another hour of your time. Thank you very much. As always, the chat has been interesting.
It's been
The show all on its own.
show all its own. I
Yes.
wish the chat would show up as soon as we shut off.
Yeah.
Because it takes about 24 hours to chat show up.
Yeah.
And hell, half the chat's better than what we're doing.
This is true. So y'all have a good weekend. Be safe. And remember, don't pet the sweaty things. Don't sweat the petty things. We'll
Be
see
safe-
you next
be
week.
safe, guys.
Bye-bye.
So, have you heard about